What up guys, it's your boy Quake, and before we start this video, I want to announce that we are giving away two brand new PlayStation 5s. Yes, two brand new PlayStation 5s, a disc version and a digital version. We're also giving away $100. There's only one mandatory thing you have to do to enter. After that, everything else is optional and gets you extra entries. Simply visit diversementality.com/giveaway. Check out the website that tells you how to enter. The contest ends May 15th, 2022. This is my way of saying thank you for all the support throughout the years. Check it out. The link is in the description below, and good luck. From now on, I will be having full uncut videos of all my documentaries I release on my Patreon. For just $3 a month, you're going to get uncut raw videos the way that I intended to make them, because YouTube doesn't allow certain things because of their guidelines. The videos will also be ad-free, so you'll be able to enjoy the videos with no interruptions at all. You also will get access to our Discord community, a bunch of hip-hop heads talking about what we love the most. You'll get access to me the most on there, as well as the Diverse Mentality team. So go ahead and check us out at patreon.com/diverse mentality. The link is in the description below, and leave a like on this video. It helps us with our algorithm a lot. Appreciate it, and let's get into the video.
Why did you come up with the name King of Memphis? Like, why is this album named King of Memphis?
Cause really it's simple, you know what I mean? Like, I've been taking care of my whole family since I was underage. Dolph a millionaire, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Dolph got everything, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff going on. It's just I'm the one that's changing the game and changing it up. It ain't no this person the king of Memphis, none of that. You know what I mean? Like, all my boys, we kings of Memphis. It's not called the King of Memphis, it's called King of Memphis.
Yep.
They want to get to me. Nah, they don't get to me. You know what I mean? Cause can't nothing stop me, bro. Only thing that stop me is me. You feel me? So it's like, ain't nobody else got control of me. You know what I mean? We sitting on top of the industry. We really doing what everybody want to do and wish they could do. That's why I just love life right now. That's why I'm just through the roof right now. Cause we at the top, but we really from the bottom. You know what I mean? And I know that. You know, you gotta get it how you live, man. Everything don't stay the same forever.
Man, you gotta know what you're doing. This the rap game, but this really ain't nothing but the streets. You gotta play this game right.
You know, it feel like every few months we losing somebody else.
It's just a part of life right now. Whether we like it or not, it's a part of life.
Every once in a while, there's an artist that forever shifts a small market. And this artist was specifically from Memphis, Tennessee. He decided to do things his own way, on his own time, with his own money. And to believe in yourself so much that you turn down multi-million-dollar offers multiple times. You have to really believe in yourself and your vision to be able to deny yourself that kind of opportunity and money. Especially coming from a smaller market area, it's very hard to execute on exactly what you want. On top of that, he did it his own way, and not many people can say that. Plus, he did it by helping out the people around him and made sure everyone was good. And of course, I'm talking about Memphis City's own Young Dolph. Young Dolph was born Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. on July 27th, 1985. He was born in the south side of Chicago, but by the time he became 2 years old, his family moved to Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, he reps Memphis all the time throughout his interviews and his music and throughout his whole life, because that's where he was raised, even though he was born in Chicago. He did visit Chicago during the holidays and during the summer. That's where his mom's side of the family was at, and that's how his dad found out about his mom was in Chicago. But by 2 years old, they ended up moving to Memphis.
I was born in Chicago, but
Yeah,
Memphis raised me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, really, I might have well been born in Memphis. Like, my grandma came and got me, man, took me back to Memphis when I was 2-3 years old. Been in Memphis ever since. Go back to Chicago for the summer, and it's like certain little different stuff to go kick and holler at my family. But like on Memphis made me, Memphis paid me, Memphis everything I ever did, bro. Like, the streets of Memphis is what made me what I am.
And it wasn't Dolph's parents that ended up raising Dolph and his brothers and sisters. It was his grandmother. The reason why his grandmother raised them was because his parents were unfortunately addicted to crack cocaine. And because of this, they weren't consistent when it comes to raising Dolph and his brothers and sisters. They would be in and out in the streets and then at home. So his grandmother decided to take over.
Split your family up. My mother took the house from me, and we had to find somewhere to stay. Yeah, drugs was a problem.
He grew up in South Memphis, specifically in the neighborhood of Castalia, and he said growing up he saw crack cocaine at the age of 2 to 3 years old. And in those streets he saw a lot of violence and gang members, and realized at a young age he needed to stay focused on getting money so he can help his family get out of this bad situation. Growing up, he also dealt with ridicule from people because his parents were on crack cocaine and they weren't there to raise him.
But my shit was fucked up. You know what I mean? My mama and dad, bro, was smoking out here bad, fucked up cocaine. You know what I mean? That was their era. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, my whole family, auntie, uncles, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I came from nothing and like really being around shit. And you know what I mean? Hearing your family members saying, oh, we poor and this, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Shit, 4, 5, 6 years old, bro, I was wanting money. You know what I mean? I'm
That's a
saving
fact.
change. I'm doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm like, bro, I'm not finna be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I need money. Like, it dawned on me early. You know what I'm saying? I knew earlier, bro, we need money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit, mama can't do this, daddy can't do that. Grandmama raising me and my little brothers. Can't no old lady in no goddamn hood raise no 3 little boys, man. You know what I mean? With in the environment full of drugs and gangs and all this shit. You see what I'm
speak
saying?
the facts,
So my whole thing was, hey, I'm finna turn this shit around. You know what I mean? Every goddamn crack baby or anybody in that position, you know, come in the world like that, what happened? Shit, they go down through there, have a hard ass life. Hell no, not me. I ain't with that shit.
As he got older, he realized his grandmother was getting older too. And since she was the glue of the family, once she passed, things would end up going bad. So he needed to stay focused and started hustling immediately in the streets in any way that he could. His grandmother instilled a lot of things in him. One of the things would be that stand on morals and principles and always give back to people.
The person that gave me all my game is my grandma. The reason why I'm rich is because of my grandma. The reason why I'm on top of game is because of my grandma. The reason why I don't trust nobody is because of my grandma.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm private and keep shit separate is like my business and family is because of my grandma. Like all this shit is the confidential shit is from my grandma.
He said his grandmother would always be mean to him and tough on him, but he realized that it's because he's the oldest one and that he had to take on the responsibility of making sure the family was good after she passed away. So Dolph immediately started hustling in the early teens. His first hustle was cutting people's hair for $20 to $30. Although he was making decent money cutting hair, he realized the friends around him were making a lot more money being in the streets. So he got involved with his friends selling narcotics, but one thing that he was 100% against was selling cocaine, because that's the drug that ruined his family.
12 years old, I taught myself how to cut hair. I ran up my first couple of $1,000 doing that shit, and just it's like I just didn't never I just ain't never stopped, bro. Once I started when I was young as hell, I ain't never stopped. You know what I'm saying?
So while he got involved in the streets, he kept his head on a swivel and made sure he wasn't doing things too out of control, because everyone around him was also gang banging. Some were vice lords, some were GDs, and he realized that that's not the life that he wants to get into. He was mainly focused on getting money. He also knew his grandmother wouldn't approve of his choices, so whenever he did illegal street things, he would stay away from his grandmother's house and make sure she never saw. Unfortunately, she did end up finding out, and this is a moment in young Dolph's life he says he forever regrets and wish he could take back. At that moment, he was in the backyard of his grandmother's house dealing some stuff with friends. While there, his grandmother ended up arriving earlier to her house. She came in the backyard. He was surprised. He ended up stuffing some drugs in his shorts. When he turned around, the drugs fell through his shorts into the ground, and that's when his grandmother realized he was in the streets. Dolph says she was very disappointed, and the look in her eyes of disappointment is something that he's never going to forget.
So, like about this time, that when I had started, I got jumped in the street. I was doing a little bullshit and shit. My whole thing was though, I was like, I never want my grandma to know. I just have shit outside around the house. I go from the side of the house over there and jump the gate and run in and out the out of the house, right? Man, I go jump the gate one day, go in the out of the house. I got some shorts on. The dog started barking. I'm like, why she barking? Grandma coming out the back door back here. I turn around, grandma right there. I'm trying to stuff all this shit in my pants, but I got on shorts, and this shit hit straight to the floor. She just started yelling and screaming. She the only person I really ever cared about what she say, what she think about me, just any and everything, you know what I mean? I ain't never want to let her down. I ain't never want that shit to be in her mind about me. This shit just made me cry, you know what I'm saying? Cause my grandma seeing this shit, like, I'm like, man, like, damn, man. I come out, jump the gate, get in the car, bang, shut the door. My nigga like, what's wrong with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, just pull out, dog.
After that moment, he realized he needed to get into something that was legal, but that would help everyone around him. So he turned to something that he loved, which was music, and specifically an artist like Jay-Z as someone he was looking up to. He also looked up to Master P and the way he was doing things with business in the music industry, as well as his artist, C-Murder. His childhood friends said that he always loved music. He wouldn't even have a TV in his room. He would instead have a radio and have that radio around him 24/7 bumping his head.
One of Dolph's childhood houses. That nigga room right there. The nigga that had nothing but a goddamn radio in that motherfucker. He wasn't even putting no TV in that motherfucker. I thought something was really wrong with his head. I thought he was had crazy. Cause every time he used to come over here, the nigga be just in that motherfucker just bobbing his head and shit, you know what I'm saying, and writing and shit. I'm talking about this was every goddamn day for us, man. I don't know how long he did that shit. I like, damn, cuz losing his damn mind or something. But the whole time, the little nigga was plotting though. You know what I'm saying? He was just putting his moves together and shit and trying to execute that shit as best as he could, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought that nigga was retarded though, man. Boy was in that motherfucker, man.
He still wasn't 100% focused on the music. He was focused on the streets as well and trying to get money any which way he could, because at that time, the music wasn't paying. He was constantly writing songs though and making sure he got better and better as time went. One thing that sharpened his rapping skills a lot was meeting his friend Daddy-O at the age of 10 at a basketball court. Daddy-O was a lot older than young Dolph, but he ended up liking Dolph a lot and mentoring him and even freestyling back and forth with him, to the point where the whole neighborhood knew they would rap battle each other. Everyone would gather around to hear them rap battle, and eventually people were telling young Dolph to drop a mixtape.
I met Dolph shooting basketball when he was about 10 years old. It was in the hood, we was hooping.
Me and Daddy used to always freestyle, just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit, rhyme, freestyle. And so all our partners will come around, they get the freestyle too, but everybody know like these niggas be dead serious freestyling against each other. You know what I'm saying? So everybody like, bro, you need to, bro, go make a song. I got the bullshit, I'm like, man, I'm gonna make a song. They like, man, bro, you need to do this shit for real.
He was still heavy in the streets at this time, and even at the age of 16 was the first time he shot a gun. As time went on, Dolph would develop his rapping skills more and more. At the age of 23 years old is when something unthinkable to Dolph would happen. On March 5th, 2008, Dolph's grandmother ended up passing away of lung cancer. This moment would forever change Dolph and put a battery in his back to grind like never before. Dolph started dropping singles here and there to test the market and see if people actually liked his music. When Dolph really decided he wanted to become a rapper is when his friend invited him over to go hang out with Lil Boosie back in 2008. He had to realize Boosie was making so much money off rapping that there was no way that Dolph wouldn't rap.
It made me know that I can do this shit. It made me like, I'm finna rap, I'm finna do this shit. One of my partners from my hood, he called me, he was like, I'm finna ready to go pull up on Boosie and smoke some weed with Boosie and go over there. We get to the room. Like, Boosie, like, he one of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is partner, like my boy, he go down to Baton Rouge, he got family down there, so he fuck with him hard. Like, Boosie just showing his ass, he was like, nigga, I remember I first started coming down here, I was getting like 1,500 or something, like, now I'm getting 15,000. He was like, nigga, I'm finna get that new Bentley when I get back to Baton Rouge. I'm finna this, I'm finna that. I was like, but we left. When the parking lot, I told my partner, I was like, bro, I'm finna start rapping.
At that moment, Dolph started talking with Daddy-O, who was his business partner at the time, slash friend, slash partner that he would freestyle with all the time, and they came to a conclusion that they should call their record label Paper Route Entertainment. And just like that, Dolph had a whole team around him, pushing him to become one of the biggest artists out of Memphis. So in late 2008, Dolph dropped his first official mixtape called Paper Route Campaign, which featured 19 tracks. Now that there was an official mixtape out there of young Dolph, they needed to push it in the market and in the streets wherever they could. So at concerts that Dolph would perform at locally, they would hand out CDs left and right and just flood the streets with them. In fact, some people would actually throw them on the ground. They would come to that same club later that night once they're done performing, pick them up and hand them out the next day again. They would do it so many times that they ran into the same people they initially handed out the CDs to, and eventually those people got so annoyed by the fact that they kept getting this CD that they said, fuck it, I'm gonna listen to it. They put it into the car and they loved it, and eventually word spread around Memphis that Dolph was a rapper that had great music. So then he ended up booking a lot of shows around Memphis, and his buzz started growing bigger and bigger.
I was DJing every big major club in the city, literally having 20 guys outside the club in Backpacks. Everywhere you go, man, Young Dolph CD, you gonna get a Young Dolph CD. You know, it's you can try to turn your head and act like you don't see it, but as soon as you turn your head, it's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. I just respected his ground.
Dolph and his team pushed that Paper Route Campaign mixtape for the next 2 years all over Memphis, and he even branched out to Atlanta because he knew at that time, and even now, Atlanta is the mecca of hip-hop. While out in Atlanta, he built relationships with club promoters and DJs that were big, such as DJ Scream, producers such as Zaytoven. He even built relationships with artists out there such as Gucci Mane, OJ the Juice Man, 2 Chainz, and more. So after those 2 years, they finally got ready to release Young Dolph's second mixtape. At this time, Dolph's name started spreading through Memphis to Atlanta and everywhere down south. Dolph even managed to get a major feature for the first time in his career from 2 Chainz, who at the time was going by the name of Titty Boy. Even though things were going great in terms of young Dolph's career slowly starting to grow, he faced a lot of personal things in his life at this time as well, including getting into a car accident that almost took his life and losing hundreds of thousands of dollars.
We go to coming back from a video shoot to somebody video shoot. I had to go do a video shoot with somebody. We just got back to Memphis. We dropped one of my partners off. We in the truck. He was driving. The one that was driving, we dropped him off. My cousin got up, smoked a cigarette, jumped right in the driver's seat. Jumped in the driver's seat. I promise on everything. It was less than 2 minutes. I don't know how he fell asleep that fast.
He fell asleep?
He fell asleep. Like he hit this, like this time, he fell asleep and run all the way to the pole and we flipped.
Oh, wow.
This time, it's 4 of us in the truck.
Oh.
I'm like, damn.
Like a time round
like,
2.
I'm talking about this time, like it's 4 of us. I know all 4 of us ain't finna get up and walk away from it all good, but by the grace of God, like we did.
That accident mixed with losing a lot of money made Dolph even more focused on his career. He quickly realized that being an artist, he can make tenfold the money that he lost very quickly. So on July 2nd, 2010, Dolph dropped his official second mixtape called Welcome to Dolph World, which was hosted by Atlanta's very own DJ Scream. After the release of this mixtape is when Dolph says people started taking him more seriously as a rapper. Because of the DJ Scream cosign and the 2 Chainz cosign, Dolph started doing a lot more shows and actually started getting some money for them, roughly $5,000 a show. However, he wanted to grow outside of Memphis, so he went to Atlanta and paid OJ the Juice Man $10,000 to open up for his show. And the money he got paid for that show, he just threw right back in the crowd, so the crowd would go crazy and it would make it seem like Dolph had a huge buzz when people were walking in that club in Atlanta.
I went to Atlanta. You know, I'm from Memphis. You know, so I drove to Memphis. Me and my homeboy, I went down there. I forgot how I even got Screen line. I got his line, I don't know from who it was, one of my partners in Atlanta. I can't even think just straight out the top. But I called Screen, you know what I'm saying? Screen was like, man, where you at? You feel what I'm saying? I pulled up on Screen, like shout out to Screen. You feel what I'm saying? When I got out with Screen, he was straight with it. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no beating around, no bush, wasn't no middleman, no nothing. Like we just went in. You know what I'm saying? Like I told him what I'm trying to do, what I need, all that, man. We put it together, we ran the play. You feel what I'm saying? And that tape, after I dropped that tape, it made me the hottest artist in my city, like straight up. Like I dropped that tape, that Welcome to Dolph, where it just took fire, just straight fire. My first show I did in Memphis after that tape. I dropped that tape, did my first show, got 5 bands.
Because of how big Young Dolph started getting in Memphis, he started working with Drumma Boy as well, and Drumma Boy would be the one that would introduce him to Gucci Mane. Gucci initially charged Young Dolph for a feature, but after the song ended up blowing up, he then invited Young Dolph to his studio in Atlanta to work with him and potentially sign him. Dolph didn't want to sign with Gucci Mane, but that didn't matter to Gucci at all. He took him under his wing and mentored him throughout all of his life. As Dolph's buzz kept increasing, Dolph kept flooding the streets with new music, and in 2011 he dropped 2 mixtapes. On May 7th, 2011, he dropped High Class Street Music, and this would be the first track that Dolph and Gucci Mane were officially on, called I'm Booked Up, and the reception for this track was of course amazing. Then Daddy-O and Dolph decided to make a business decision and change the name of Paper Route Entertainment to Paper Route Empire. So they kept flooding the streets with new music, and on November 8th, 2011, they dropped the follow-up High Class Street Music 2, Hustler's Paradise. And this project showed some unity between Memphis artists because Juicy J was featured on the track called I Think I'm Sprung, and it was the lead single off the project, and it did very well. He got the attention of every Memphis artist that had made it previously, and that included Yo Gotti. Without going into too much detail, their relationship ended up going sour as the years went on. I detail it in my documentary, Young Dolph versus Yo Gotti, What Really Happened. Check out that video if you want to know the details of why their relationship went sour. In 2012, Dolph kept releasing music, and on April 6, 2012, he dropped a new mixtape called A Time to Kill. Then on November 14, 2012, he dropped another mixtape called Blue Magic, and this would be the first time Dolph and Future would be on the same track, as well as other artists. In 2013, Dolph did a collab mixtape with Gucci Mane called East Atlanta Memphis, and released this on March 16th, 2013. Then on May 13th, 2013, he dropped the 3rd installment to his High Class Street Music called Trappin' Out the Mansion. And this would be the first time Dolph would get a taste of what going viral was like. The viral moment was thanks to the track Get This Money featuring 2 Chainz on the mixtape. And due to Vine at the time being super popular, there were 7-second clips of people dancing to his music. The one clip that blew up, that spread throughout the whole internet, was the white kid at a gas station dancing to the song. And this clip made him skyrocket to more mainstream success. So Dolph kept going and dropped another mixtape in 2013 on October 15th called South Memphis Kingpin. Then in 2014, Dolph would see his first success on the Billboard charts. On April 15th, 2014, he dropped a new mixtape called Cross Country Trappin'. And on this mixtape was a track called Preach, and this would be Dolph's highest successful record at that time. This would be the first Billboard entry of his career in terms of singles. It would be on the US main R&B and hip hop charts, and it peaked at number 24. This was a major success for Dolph and his team considering they were independent with no major record label pushing them. Following that, he dropped the 4th installment to High Class Street Music called American Gangster on July 8th, 2014. Then in 2015, Dolph would see some major success even more on the Billboard charts, not only from his songs, but from features he did. He hit the ground running in 2015 immediately, and on February 24th, 2015, he dropped the 5th installment to his High Class Street Music mixtape series called The Plug's Best Friend. On this mixtape featured a track called Pulled Up featuring 2 Chainz, and this would be another track that would chart on Billboard main R&B and hip hop charts at number 39, which was a great look for an independent artist. Then Dolph would appear on the biggest track of his career till this day. OT Genesis decided to drop a track called Cut It and had a Young Dolph as the featured artist on the track. This track ended up blowing up. It peaked at number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100, which would be Young Dolph's first appearance on the Hot 100. It peaked at number 3 on the US R&B and hip hop charts, and then it went double platinum. And that wasn't the end of the features that had major success. He also appeared on Colonial Loud's California track with T.I., and this track ended up peaking at number 32 on the US R&B and hip hop charts and at number 8 on the US main R&B and hip hop charts. Of course, with that success, he kept flooding the streets with new mixtapes, and a lot of them will be collab mixtapes. The first one would be June 30th, 2015, called Felix Brothers with Gucci Mane and Pee Wee Longway. Then just a couple weeks later, he dropped another collab mixtape. This one would be on July 15th, 2015, called Bagman with Pee Wee Longway as well. Then a couple weeks later, on July 28th, 2015, he dropped his own solo mixtape, 16 Zips. Then just a month or two later, on October 8th, 2015, he dropped another mixtape called Shittin' on the Industry. And from this mixtape, there was a track called Get Paid that fans started loving a lot. And this track would end up becoming the first single off his debut album. The track ended up peaking at number 35 on the US main R&B and hip hop tracks. But the track came with some controversy as 2 Duke University students in 2018 got fired for playing the song. Young Dolph noticed the news and immediately responded. In May 2018, at his Rolling Loud set, he flew out the 2 employees that got fired for bumping his Get Paid track and gave them each $10,000.
I know y'all familiar with the situation that happened at Duke University a couple of days ago, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, they fired 2 workers from a coffee shop for bumping my shit in the store.
Hell no.
Matter of fact, I brought them out here and flew them out here with me, man.
Okay.
This is the kind of shit I do.
Real niggas do real shit. I see you, dog.
Know what I'm saying? So, keep in mind, this was a VP at Duke University that fired them. It worked for playing the song Get Paid. So check this out. This is what we gonna do. I know for a fact that VP at that school, he get money, but he ain't get money like Dolph. So look, check this out. Until y'all get y'all a new job, till y'all find y'all a new job, I got 20,000 for y'all right now.
Let's go! Rolling loud! Paper Route Empire!
The publicity for this Get Paid track is what made this song so legendary. Dolph went on January 2016 on Instagram and announced that he had to go to court, and the judge ordered him to take this little kid in his custody for 24 hours. In the caption said his mom said he's been skipping school, stealing and shit. And what made this believable at that time was because Dolph was in court for drug charges. So a lot of people believed that this was real, but as the weeks went on and as the years went on, Dolph revealed that it was just something publicity for the song Get Paid. He posted another picture on Instagram and said on the caption, "Why this bad little motherfucker just tell me this house is cool, but let's go to the other one. Me, what other one? Him, your trap house, duh. Me, don't make me put this belt on your little ass." Everybody was laughing when he posted these pictures, and it worked well for the single. They even shot the music video with the kid in it.
That's the video. We shot the video. You know what I'm saying? I shot the video, and that was the whole storyline of the video. You know what I mean? So he did actually kick it with me and hung with me for like a day and a half, but it wasn't it right there.
It wasn't court ordered.
Nah.
Okay. I was like, what kind of court?
I thought the court made you be a mentor or something.
Nah,
I think that was the premise of it. Like we was, because when I first seen it, I was like, nah, I know.
Well, that's a good ass video because I believe it.
Finally, Dolph was ready to release his debut album, and on February 19th, 2016, he dropped his debut album, King of Memphis. The album ended up charting on the Billboard 200 for the first time in his career at number 49 and on the US rap charts at number 5. He also pushed another single off the album called Royalty, and this track peaked at number 33 on the US main R&B and hip hop charts. Even though the album did good, Young Dolph kept going when it comes to music and released a new collab mixtape with Jay Fizzle and Bino Brown on May 27, 2016 called Bosses and Shooters. He continued the mixtape run in 2016, and on August 26th, he dropped Rich Crack Baby. This would be his first mixtape to chart on the Billboard 200 charts, and it debuted at number 132. After having a successful year in 2016, 2017 was looking very promising, and Young Dolph decided to start that out with a bang. On February 2nd, 2017, Young Dolph dropped his final mixtape, Gelato, and on the last track of this mixtape, titled Play With Your Bitch, Dolph decided to take direct shots at Yo Gotti. This of course caused a huge stir, not only in the music industry, but also in the streets. Just 2 weeks after dropping that track, his own vehicle was the target of gunfire in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was set to perform at CIAA that night. When he pulled up with his SUV, it got shot at 100 times. And fortunately for Dolph and his team, the SUV was bulletproof, so none of them ended up getting hurt. That same night, Dolph performed on stage, and the first track he performed was the Yo Gotti diss song. Days after the shooting, Yo Gotti's artist Black Youngsta and 2 other men were arrested, but the charges were later dropped due to insufficient evidence. Dolph, being the smart businessman that he is, he decided to capitalize on this moment and dropped his second album titled Bulletproof on April 1st, 2017. And the lead single off this album is titled 100 Shots, in which he addresses that incident. At this time in his career, it would be his highest charting song on the US R&B and hip hop charts at number 49 and would end up going gold. And when people saw the track list of this album, they thought Young Dolph was just joking around, but it's the real track list on the album, because the track list is a sentence about the incident. It starts out with 100 shots. The second track is In Charlotte, but I'm bulletproof, so fuck them. That's how I feel. All of them. I'm so real. I pray for my enemies. I'm everything you want to be. SMH. This album ended up peaking at number 36 on the Billboard 200, which would also be his highest charting album at that time. With the album being the highest charting at that time of his career, it was definitely a smart move to use that incident as a marketable strategy for his second album. This also cemented him in hip-hop history as a legendary artist for having a crazy moment in hip-hop involving a major shooting and a major diss track. With the great success he's having, things would unfortunately get worse as the year went on. On September 27th, 2017, Dolph was outside the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel. He ended up getting into an altercation with 2 men. Those 2 men ended up firing 2 shots in his upper body. He was immediately rushed to the hospital after the incident, and it was reported he was in critical condition, but as time went on, they reported that he would eventually end up making it. The police immediately started questioning Yo Gotti due to the history of their beef that year. They caught up with 3 people that same day of the shooting, and one of them was an associate of Yo Gotti by the name of Corey McClendon. They ended up arresting him but released him without charges due to lack of evidence. A couple weeks went by and Dolph was officially released from the hospital after healing up. Immediately he announced his new album, Thinking Out Loud, and released it on October 20th, 2017. And on one of the tracks titled Believe Me, he actually shot a music video in the hospital while he was recovering. And this album would be his highest charting album at that time of his career. It debuted at number 16 on the Billboard 200, and because it debuted so high, the first week numbers actually registered on Hits Daily Double. The album ended up moving 23,487 copies the first week, which was a great look for Dolph considering he was independent. Labels knew that Young Dolph was independent, so they all kept reaching out to try to sign Young Dolph to their label. Because of the massive success in 2017, the labels tried to sign him in 2018. Young Dolph revealed that he got offered a $22 million record deal but decided to decline it. Dolph knew what his potential was and what his record label's potential was, so that's why he ultimately ended up declining it, because he knew he could make that $22 million within the next year or two. This was a massive step in his growth because just years ago, they only offered him $3.2 million. To jump from $3.2 million to $22 million showed that Dolph had grown massively commercially, and in 2018, he proved that even further.
The most money I done turned down was $3.2 million.
Oh,
I ain't turned down. I done turned down the 3.2.
The whole thing, it really was like a label deal, but it's like I just didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I see something bigger. You know what I mean? Like not saying it wouldn't have been a good opportunity, but it's like, man, I don't feel like I gotta go that route. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of people, they can't see what I see, bro, because they ain't in my position. And
Right.
I figured that out too. I had to figure it out along the way. Like a lot of people, they ain't gonna get it. They ain't gonna see what I see. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you look at what I'm at right now. Look what I've done so far. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ain't nobody was willing to sacrifice, like holding out to get to where, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm at in their career, you know what I'm saying? Before they be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and me sign this or do that, do this. It's just, I just got another vision for it. You know what I mean? And it's like strictly 100% ownership. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Your decision is everything, bro. You know what I mean? It's like one wrong decision, it can lead to like just like, you know, it can lead to so much. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so like this is just my whole thing. This is my philosophy.
Dolph stuck to the formula and kept dropping new music. On February 16th, 2018, he dropped a new EP called People Get Shot Every Day. This EP ended up peaking at number 59 on the Billboard 200. Dolph then started gearing up to drop his 4th studio album. And on September 21st, 2018, he dropped his 4th album, Role Model. The album would become his highest charting album to date at that time, at number 15 on the Billboard 200 and at number 9 on the US rap album charts. The album also was the best first week selling of his career at that time, with 31,000 copies sold. The lead single off this album also was his biggest charting song as a lead artist at that time as well. The single was called Major featuring Key Glock, and it ended up peaking at number 47 on the US R&B and hip hop charts. And what helped the song perform really well was Dolph announcing a challenge for the single called That's Major Challenge. He said, I'm about to give away a camouflage Hellcat Challenger to whoever makes the best video to the song Major. You can flex the song, do a skit to the song, dance to the song, etc. It doesn't matter what you do, it's your choice. You must hashtag That's Major Challenge to enter. Dolph ultimately ended up picking a winner, and he brought the winner out to meet him. He ended up offering him the Hellcat car or $30,000 in cash. The winner chose the $30,000.
What's up, bro?
Yo.
What's happening, bro? What's going on, man?
Alright, get that something together. Hold on.
Congratulations, first of all, bro. Like, you deserve it, like, for real. Putting that energy out here, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't go good places, but just keep that same energy you got. That's what I like more than anything, bro, your energy. You know what I'm saying? You can have all this plus more, you know what I mean? Next year.
I still feel like I'm dreaming.
You feel like you're dreaming. Like rats for you too. They go for 30, bro.
Yo, I know about 30 racks a day, but like nothing like this, all in cash.
It's yours now.
One of the smartest things Dolph did for having the biggest song of his career at that moment was include his own artist, Key Glock. What this did for Key Glock was catapult his own career so he could start building his own empire. Then in 2019, Dolph decided to do a collab project with his own artist, Key Glock, to grow him even further. And on July 26, 2019, they dropped the collab album Dumb and Dumber. This would be the biggest project from Dolph's career at this moment. It ended up peaking at number 8 on the Billboard 200 and number 4 on the US rap album charts. This collab album was Dolph's best first week sales to date, with 36,000 copies sold. Based off the performance of this collab album, it was very clear that young Dolph and Key Glock had great chemistry. As 2020 came, a lot of people let the pandemic slow them down, but for Dolph, he started gearing up to drop his 5th solo studio album. And on the first week of August 2020, Dolph announced that he would be giving away his blue and tangerine colored Lamborghini Aventador to any fan who purchased something off his website. Well, Unfortunately, someone won and Young Dolph pulled up to her to deliver the Lamborghini personally. With that great promo, Dolph dropped his 5th solo studio album, Rich Slave, on August 14th, 2020. The album became his highest charting album to date. It debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 chart, making it his first top 5 album on the charts, and it sold 65,000 copies within the first week. It also went number 3 on the US rap album charts. The lead single, R&B with Megan Thee Stallion, was also his highest charting single to date, at number 46 on the US R&B and hip hop, and at number 5 on the US main R&B and hip hop, and ended up going gold. As 2021 came, Young Dolph shifted his focus on his artists on Paper Route Empire, because that whole year he just dropped collab albums with his artists. The first one was the follow-up to Dumb and Dumber with Dumb and Dumber 2 with Key Glock on March 26th, 2021. This project debuted at number 8 on the Billboard 200 and sold roughly 36,000 copies the first week. Dolph kept the focus on his artists, and a couple months later he dropped the first Paper Route Empire compilation album called Paper Route Illuminati. This project dropped on July 30th, 2021 and debuted at number 22 on the Billboard 200 and sold nearly 20,000 copies the first week. Things were going perfectly for Young Dolph and his record label, as each artist and Dolph himself were rising to new heights of fame and success. But on November 17th, 2021, things would change forever. That week of November 17th, Dolph came back to Memphis to give back to his community. That week, he was scheduled to give out turkeys to the Memphis community on November 19th, which would be a Friday. On November 15th, 2021, he ended up visiting a West Cancer Clinic near Memphis. He went there to show love to the staff for taking care of cancer patients, because a lot of his family members went through that center that were dealing with cancer. He even took photos with the staff, signed autographs, and even did an interview. But little did we know that would be the last Young Dolph interview to ever exist.
I decided to visit West Cancer Center, the clinic, today, just to show my appreciation for, like, over the years. I had several family members to come through here and been patients of this clinic, so I just really wanted to show up and show them my support, show them my like, how thankful I am just for them being them. I got a aunt, my aunt, she's currently here. Like, she has cancer, my grandmother had cancer, my uncle had cancer, and they all came through these doors. And I just wanted to show up and just really thank them for what they do, because it ain't an easy job. Like, it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? Just seeing people in those conditions. Like, some people be more down than others. Some be all right. It's really just be all about timing. Like, even the ones that be all right, it's like, it only lasts for so long, but they do a hell of a job, and I just wanted to come and congratulate them and let them know, like, they appreciate it.
That week on Wednesday, November 17th, Dolph was out and about in Memphis getting ready to shoot a music video with his artist Snoop Bands. He was driving around in his camo-wrapped Corvette and decided to stop by his local favorite cookie spot, Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies. This was around 12:20 p.m. While in there, a white Mercedes pulls up at the exact same location. Two men masked with hoodies on pull out guns and start shooting at the shop. Police arrive roughly 8 minutes after the incident at 12:30, and police immediately report that Young Dolph has died on the scene. Dolph was only 36 years old, and the news spread like wildfire. Immediately, the internet started pointing fingers at Dolph's enemies, such as Yo Gotti and the rest of his record label, Cocaine Music Group. Because of the fear of retaliation, police even ended up protecting Yo Gotti's restaurant out in Memphis. People even started pointing the finger towards Soulja Boy, because days prior, Dolph took to Instagram and said, "How the fuck am I an independent artist getting 100,000 plus for a show? How the fuck Key Glock got more cars and ice than you and your CEO?" Soulja Boy ended up calling that big cap, saying that Young Dolph is actually signed to Empire Records, and that Soulja Boy instead is the biggest independent artist. So people assumed Soulja Boy and Young Dolph had beef, so when Young Dolph passed away, Immediately, people thought Soulja Boy had something to do with it because of the recent disagreements. However, for the first time ever, Soulja Boy's manager, Miami Mike, came on my podcast, the Diverse Mentality Podcast, and broke down the story of Dolph and Soulja Boy and what exactly happened behind the scenes. He revealed to me exclusively that Dolph and Soulja Boy were actually supposed to meet that upcoming Saturday, where Soulja Boy was scheduled to perform in Memphis. Young Dolph knew that Soulja Boy was trolling, so he wanted to show love when Soulja Boy came in Memphis.
The Dolph situation, man, that shit hurt me so bad, bro. I saw him 2 days before he got killed. We was actually going to bring him out. Millennium was going to bring him out on the stage in Memphis. But by Dolph getting killed, to me, the shooters used Soulja as an alibi. Whoever been trying to kill Dolph, he'd been shot 2 times before.
Yeah.
I shot at. They was trying to kill him. They was going to try to use, to me, they were just trying to use Soulja as an alibi. They said, Soulja talking shit, we going to get Dolph now. That's how I'm looking at it. Yeah. Like Soulja did it, we going to be in the clear. That's what I'm thinking, because he had nothing to do with it. He really didn't. And people was mad at him because he said, because they took him out the tour, he was mad because he really didn't have nothing to do with it. He's like, man, why they take me out the tour? I ain't had that. Somebody got killed, ain't got nothing to do with me. And niggas probably in the streets in Memphis was just getting mad at him for being disrespectful, but not just about the paper route stuff, because Dolph, the shit was really cleared up. You know what I'm saying? That's like I said, I saw Dolph 2 days before he got killed. Yeah. I saw him at Starbucks in downtown Memphis. I had just got off tour.
Immediately after Dolph's death, the Memphis community started showing an outpouring love and support to Dolph around Makeda's homemade cookies. Young Dolph had planned on Friday, November 19th, to go out to the community and give out Thanksgiving turkeys. Unfortunately, Dolph never got the chance to do that, but his friends and family still went out there and handed out turkeys. The following day, on November 20th, the police found the white Mercedes-Benz, the same one that was used by the 2 gunmen to kill young Dolph, at an abandoned house. That same house was used for a music video by an artist by the name of Straight Drop. He dropped a music video called Going Straight In. And in that music video, he's using the exact same house that white Mercedes-Benz was at. And that's what slowly started helping the police put the pieces together. About a week and a half went by, and on November 30th, young Dolph was officially laid to rest. A couple weeks later, on December 16th, young Dolph's family and friends had an event called the Celebration of Life, where they talk about all the great things that young Dolph did and all the people he impacted.
Hello everybody, my name is Adolph Robert Thornton III, and I am just happy to be here because my dad was the person who raised me, and he trained me to be a good man when I grow up. First, when I was younger, I used to love playing, and he was the only thing I could think about. But now since he had death, now I'm gonna make it up to the whole world, and I'm gonna be the greatest person you will ever know.
Roughly 3 weeks later, the police did their investigation and ended up arresting 3 men in connection with the shooting of young Dolph. Those 3 men were Justin Johnson, who is that Straight Drop rapper, Shondale Barnett, and Cornelius Smith. All 3 of them were trying to escape the city of Tennessee. They were caught in various different areas. All 3 men are possibly facing life sentences if convicted. Since his passing, there have been a lot of stories about how young Dolph impacted people and what kind of moves he made in the business world. One of his business partners mentioned that young Dolph bought properties like crazy and owned over 100 properties. He said in the Instagram post on the caption, "Damn, young Dolph rarely rapped about his real estate portfolio, but he owned over 100 properties in Memphis, and he also purchased a foreclosure for his children every year for their birthdays. I admired this about him and even challenged him to rap more about this side of his hustle. The streets don't love nobody. That's why it's important to provide alternative to the streets every chance we get. Always remember that. Rest easy." Miami Mike also revealed on my podcast that young Dolph was getting real money. Not only did he own a bunch of properties, he also would turn down loans worth roughly $100 million. That's how much money young Dolph was getting that nobody really knew.
I had Dolph a deal to get like $100 million, and he turned it down. This ain't got nothing to do with no label deal. The bank, I told you, the Rockefeller and Ford found out the $5 million. He had turned it down. We was on the phone talking to him. He had turned it down.
What this shows is to not always go after the money. Believe in yourself and build your brand till you feel like you're worth what you're actually worth. Young Dolph over the years went from being offered $3 million from a record label to being offered $22 million to now being offered $100 million, and he still declined all of those because he believes in himself and his team that much. There were countless stories of young Dolph giving back to his community every chance that he could from friends and family. One of his friends even revealed that Dolph would stop by basketball courts in Memphis where kids were playing and would purposely lose basketball games just to give money to kids. With that being said, young Dolph's legacy will forever live on. Memphis even named a street after young Dolph. What he did in the short time that he was alive impacted millions and motivated millions. What he did in that little area of Castalia and Memphis will forever live on in history books hundreds of years from now. What he did in that short time that he was here, 99% of people didn't accomplish. On top of that, he did it his own way in his own time with his own morals. Through him owning 100% of his music, his family will forever be able to benefit from that for generations to come. And not many artists can say they owned 100% of the product that they delivered. By giving back, he put a lot of people in position to keep his name alive. For example, his artists just released a compilation album called Long Live Dolph that you can listen to right now. And one way to really support young Dolph and his family is to simply stream his music. That's the easiest way. He actually owns his music, so all the money goes to his family. Dolph has built a lot with his Paper Route Empire label and has signed a lot of dope artists. One of my favorite artists is Keeglock. He is Dolph's cousin, and he's dropped a lot of music under the Paper Route Empire label. One of my favorite projects from him is called Yellow Tape, and my favorite track off that tape is called Doe. Go ahead and check it out. He is my favorite artist from the label, and I feel like he's going to blow up and keep the Paper Route Empire label going. And shout out to my friend Vegan for showing me this track. You guys can check out his YouTube channel at VeganNC. With that being said, rest in peace, young Dolph. Long live Flipper.
Got too much time invested in this, too much of my money invested in this. You know what I mean? So something can happen to young Dolph tomorrow. My boys will still be able to eat off of Paper Route Empire Presents. You know what I mean? Like, my whole thing, what I'm standing on is the PRE.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Paper Route Empire solid. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nobody out here moving like us. Nobody. I don't care who you name in the rap game. Nobody never did it like us. Never.
On 3, I want everybody to say, long live Dolph. 1, 2, 3, long live Dolph!
That's it for today's video. If you guys want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diverse mentality. For just $3 a month, you can get my videos uncut and raw the way I intended them to be, but couldn't because of YouTube. Plus, you also get access to our Discord community, where we have a great community talking about hip hop and various other things. It's very dope. So only $3 a month. I'd really appreciate the support. Also follow us on social media at QuakeGW and at Diverse Mentality. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.